Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. So today I want to take and have a little discussion to really help some of you guys out there that are just trying to start your businesses, doing blacksmithing and things like that, trying to pick up a little side income and stuff like that. And you know, you're kind of muddling your way through the business end of things. So if this isn't your thing, you don't really care about this sort of thing and you just like it as a hobby, you may want to skip to another video where I actually do some forging. But in this video, it's going to be all talk and no action. So you've been forewarned. So I see a lot of guys, and we get a lot of emails, and we get a lot of conversations back and forth going where people ask us about business advice, and I've been on Etsy, or I've been on this site or that site, and my stuff just ain't selling. What gives? You know, things like that. And there is no easy, short answer for this, but there's a common theme that we are seeing amongst people who are having problems with, you know, maybe having low sales or lack of sales on Etsy or on their own website or whatever. And that is this thought process that if you make one item, don't care what it is, you make one item, that equals one sale. And that's just not the case. You can't make one item, post it, and over this period of time, which should be instantaneously, right? 1 minute at a time, excuse me, in 1 minute at a time, that item sells. Let me make sure we're in focus here. Yep, I think you guys can see it. It just simply doesn't work that way. It takes multiple items over a longer span of time. Say 10 items equals one sale over 3 months time. Now these are all hypotheticals. This you could draw this and make this number anything you want. It's all a hypothetical number equation here. You could do whatever theories you would like, but I'm going to break this down in principle as well as theory here in just a second. The common theme of people who are not getting the results that they're looking for out of the sales of their items is that they post a 1-to-1 ratio. They post one item, they say, okay, I'm not going to post anything else until that item sells. And the problem with that is the internet is a spider web. Think of it as a spider web. If you don't want to do a spider web, let's call it, it's a net, right? Internet. Well, let's call it a net, right? So if you put out a net that essentially looks like this, it's got one cube in the center of it, and you're looking to go catch a whale with that in the big wide world ocean that there is out there called the internet, you're not going to catch many fish. You have to take and break this big old square down into smaller compartments. This is rudimentary. I know you guys are going to feel like I'm speaking down to you here for a minute, but I just really want to break this down and get you the logic here. Now, picture each one of these squares, hopefully you guys can see that, as an item. Each one of those items have an IP address. Or roughly, like, let's say a digital register. I don't know if it's called an IP address. I call them an IP address. They're not. It's a digital register. There's something that says this item is worth somebody looking at. Well, looky over here. There's 87 of its friends, all different, saying, hey, this company, we'll just call it Bob's company, no affiliation with Bob's, whoever they are, okay? Bob's company has 84 little lures hanging out there in the big old ocean. It greatly increases Bob's chances of netting some fish. Let's add to that. We're going to add even more net here, right? We're going to add even more net to this equation. And I think you guys, the most astute of you, are going to start getting my equations here. Getting this completely figured out, won't you? Where I'm going with this whole conversation. If you have, you can fast forward ahead. I'm not drawing this in perfectly. Sorry for all you OCD types. Now how many items does Bob have? Again, each one of these have an individual digital signature. They're an individual point, a data point for Google, which about controls the entire world, if you will, that Google can find. No affiliation with them other than that they run basically everything. Okay? Google looks at these things and says, hey, these all belong to Bob. And so they start funneling people through all these digital registers. So how do you get more of these? How do you duplicate these without duplicating the items? You plug into things like Instagram, Insta, right? Hopefully you can see all that. You plug into things like Instagram, YouTube with product videos about your products. Snapchat, which I don't think a lot of people do that anymore except for like kids, but you know, whatever. What's the other one they got out there? I forget the name of it. I don't even care. Go to a Tinder site. There you go. Tinder, your online dating, and add something about yourself or your company in there. If you're actually looking for single ladies or single men, I guess. But the point is, I hope you guys are getting this. Now you've taken this net and you've multiplied it by those there. This is what is called networking. You are going to take and get a lot of traffic going to wherever you point them. Hopefully to your business, to Bob's business. Your business, whatever your name may be out there. So this is why I've said, and I've talked at length in times prior. Wipe off my little thing here. You guys probably still see a ghost shadow of it. But this is why I've talked about in times prior about the importance of make 10 of something and then post it online, upload it. That's 10 of one thing. Then you make 10 of something else and you post it online and upload it. And then you make 10 of something else and you post it online and you upload it. No point here have you started to make sales. The sales will come afterwards. This does not matter. The point is that you're investing something. You are applying value out there on the market. You're giving somebody a chance to buy your items that you've worked hard and skillfully at, and you're increasing value every time you make 10 items and put it online. You are now inherently worth more because you have put more items of value up there. You keep doing this again and again. Can't get that to draw in. You keep doing this again and again and again and again and again, and these keep multiplying. So when does the sales start coming in? The sales start coming in as soon as you have expanded a net large enough that it starts netting you some fish. The smaller your net, the longer it's going to take to catch fish. The larger your net, the less time it's going to take to catch fish. You also have to take and be putting your items in an appropriate area. If you make say knives and stuff, right? You make like these hunting and these friction folders and things like that. Maybe taking and going to a trade show that is all home decor items is not your thing. Again, you're fishing with the wrong lure. you may want to go to something like a gun and knife show, a hunting supply place, something like that. Get tuned in and plugged into those type of channels, a Facebook group or whatever, and that's where you want to start marketing your stuff, because there's already people looking for those type of items. And the more diversity of the items that you have, the better off you'll be. But you don't get there by saying, okay, this month I'm going to make 250 different items for my store. That's not going to work. Make something that you think will sell, and without any result of whether it sells or not, post it online. And then make another 10 things. Start with something else. Do not worry about these 10 items. Because what ends up happening, and this is always what ends up happening, is, and I've found this in my business, is so say these first 10 items, and it may be these 10 items or those 10 items. It's irrelevant. But somebody will come along, and we'll just say right here, somebody will come along and they will start buying these items one by one, and then they might come in here and buy these 2 by 2, right? And then somebody might come in here and buy these like 4 at a time, okay? And at the other end of this spectrum, and I'll just keep working out this math here somewhere, let's say they buy these 1 by 1, right? And then say they buy these here. As you're continuing to create more product, they'll come in and buy. And say these just haven't popularized yet by the time you start getting your sales, because I'm tired of doing math. But what happens is all these funnel into your income now. These items sold 1 by 1, these 2 by 2, 4 by 4, 1 by 1, 0, 0. Okay? Doesn't really matter. You can assign whatever price tag you would like to these, and it's perfectly fine. Assign whatever price you would like to any of these items, to any of these figures here, and then you can just multiply it by these numbers here. I'm not going to do anything with that. I'm going to let you add your own math now. This system here works. It works because it works on the principles that are already set in place. If you take and make value and you put it out there on the internet and you get enough eyeballs looking at your items, eventually, it may not be a week, may not be 2 weeks, may not even be 6 months, you're going to get somebody who's going to purchase and find value in the work that you've done and give you money for it. And the more of those things you have, the more chances, the more eyeballs that you get to look at your work equates out to a larger income for yourself. The other thing that I will address in this video, okay? Wiping away that statistic now, that little diagram. One of the last things I will address in this video here. Too many guys start off with trying to make the big money, right? You just want to make thousands of dollars. You just see $1,000 on the table. You want to make $1,000 items all day long. Because, hey, you're worth it, right? Hey, you need to make at least $50 an hour. At your current employment, that's what you're making, so you got to make at least $1,000 a day or whatever, okay? In order for it to even be reasonable for you. This is shoddy math, just letting you know. When you really should be starting at $5 items. That's where you should be starting at. $5 items, and you should have more quantity of those $5 items. The $1,000 items are quality. You have quality items, you have quantity items. Not that you can't produce quality, quantifiable items, but you can only get it, only to get up to this level, you're going to have a reduced amount of quantity in order to get quality items that will bring in $1,000 each. It's just the way it is. You can try to beat this system if you want, but it seems to be a universal law of sales. As your quantity goes down, you can increase your quality. As your quality goes up, you can't increase quantity. They're locked. They run hands in hand, whether you like it or not. I've tried to increase production, and what happens is I start sacrificing quality. I start sacrificing quality to increase the quantity of a $1,000 item. So they are kind of locked hand in hand. And just to be real frank, most of you are not putting out $1,000 worth of work. The finish work, everything, the packaging, the presentation, the customer service skills, all those things are learned. All those things take time. They take a lot of time, right? They do not come overnight. A lot of people believe they do, but they don't. They take a ton of time to grow. So, quantity items at first to get you started, to build up your hand skills, to get you the customer relations, to get you feedback, to not only get you feedback, to get you reviews and get you good stellar remarks on the internet, to get your name and your brand and your business building, and do those things for a certain amount of time. And then you will have to take and make that choice. Okay, I'm making a good amount of quantity and I'm making a good amount of pay for these items, right? Make 1,000 items at $5. There you go. You got $5,000, right? You know, again, you have to look at this. So say you're going to be doing this, but now you're getting wore out. You're tired of making repetitious stuff, and you want to start making some more of this. Well, as you climb up this scale is going to go down. It always will. And if that is your mission to get to the $1,000 items, there's no shortcuts to the top. There's none. Again, people look at a lot of different things on, say, my own website, Jessica and I's website, but we have nearly a decade of online business building. And in fact, it is an actual decade right now of online business building that we have done. We've worked through eBay. We used to do buy, sell, and trade kind of thing. You know, we just buy up stuff, turn around, resell it for a profit. We did that for a number of years before we started shifting more to the blacksmithing. Then we did it to where I started just doing my blacksmithing, and then it started taking off. But again, there was dry times. There was times where we didn't even make $800 a month. That was everything. That was to keep the shop open and our livelihood. So as you can tell, we were on government assistance and everything else. This was shortly after my car wreck. So again, we still stuck with it. God was very gracious with us and very good to us, and we are very blessed to have the business that we do. But we still had to do the groundwork. We still had to do the $5 work to work up to where you see the items posted in my store now that are $1,000 and up. Because I've had to increase the quality, the customer service, the name, the brand of Christ Center Ironworks has had to get to this point, and it's been a long journey to get there. So if this is where you want to be someday in your business, you can certainly get there. It is how hard you hustle, okay? It's how hard you hustle and how much quality you put out there on the market, how much value you add to people's everyday lives. The more the value you add, the better off you will be, and you will slowly but surely work your way up to this level and a six-figure income. So that's it for today. I hope that helped some of you out there. I felt like this was something that needed to go out there to some of you out there that are starting your blacksmithing enterprises. You know, I almost said little there, but that would have been degrading. I'm not trying to degrade your business, but you're starting small, and that is okay. You know, later on you'll be able to increase as your tooling and your equipment and your skills and the value that you can provide the customers will increase. So will your income with it. You just have to be patient, and you just have to take and be of good heart, and you will get there eventually. So that's it for today. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, there's always that thumb down option. Let me know what you thought either way in the comment section down below. And if you need some help finding a good starting spot, Jessica and I, we have a lot of different business help things over on our website, blacksmithpdfs.com. You can go over there. There's e-courses and e-books, 50 hand-forged items with the Blacksmith cheat sheet, and it gives you all sorts of SEO tips and tricks and things of that nature. There's a lot of resources, even power hammer plans and things like that. So if you haven't checked out our website, the link for that will be down in the description down below. And as always, God bless you all, and we will catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.